Prosecution rests. Those words are expected tomorrow in the Amadou Diallo murder trial. Today, prosecutors implied the officers charged with killing Diallo may have tried to cover it up. N.J. Burkett is covering the trial for us. He's live tonight in Albany. N.J.?
And Bill, this morning all 4 officers were shown their service weapons for the first time since Diallo was killed and were so obviously disgusted they could barely look at them. In testimony today, the prosecution was clearly trying to suggest that the officers tried to get their story straight in the moments immediately after the shooting. The officers left the courthouse in the frigid Albany wind chills and briefly crossed paths with the Reverend Al Sharpton. Officer Edward McMillan took a deep breath and kept on walking. In court, the officers were forced to identify their service weapons. Officer Kenneth Bost literally pushed his gun away. Sean Carroll couldn't even look at his. Edward McMillan quickly passed the guns to Richard Murphy, who could barely bring himself to touch them. The prosecution called in Detective Kevin Barry, an NYPD ballistics expert, who gave the jury a demonstration.
Each separate shot requires a separate trigger pull?
Yes.
The prosecution is clearly attempting to prove that the shooting of Amadou Diallo took several seconds and was not a single frantic burst of gunfire. To make their point, prosecutors called Thomas Bell, a neighbor and NYPD trainee, the third witness to describe a pause in the gunfire.
Bang out the series of shots.
Earlier in the day, Ida Vincent, Diallo's next-door neighbor, described the same thing. But when defense attorneys asked her about voices she heard in the street, prosecutors suddenly had an opening.
You remember what the words were?
Yes.
And some substance. Could you tell us what the words were that you heard?
The exact words?
Yeah.
O-S-H-I-T. Okay, we're just gonna say this.
Defense attorney James Culleton.
It was hearsay testimony. It can't be attributed to anyone in this case. It's totally irrelevant and it should be inadmissible.
Now tomorrow, as Bill said, the prosecution is expected to rest its case, but not before calling their star witness, the medical examiner who performed the autopsy on Amadou Diallo. Live tonight, the Albany County Courthouse, Albany, New York. N.J. Burkett, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.